Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, as far as like this year goes, just seems kind of weird that all that sort of stuff was like 10 years ago and all that, with like the whole thing with Elon, Ricky, and all that sort of stuff there. But I think now I know what I know now is just that the reason it was so difficult for me to forget all about it was because it was just all those emotions were just took a lot longer for me to process as far as that goes than like if I as if I wasn't like an NT and all that. But then again, it was just mainly like my first breakup and all this sort of stuff, or my first dealing with a parent getting in the way, or someone that was in the way and all that. That was really what was the whole matter with me in that whole time, was just me dealing with all these kind of things for the first time. So that was just mainly the reason why I kept talking about it a lot there, because it was part of me was never really completely emotionally over that. You know, even though a lot of it was like that, and then on the other hand, it was just me kind of making a frame of reference as far as that kind of stuff. And then the fact was is that I didn't really have a whole lot of major conflicts at the moment and all that. And this was just sort of like the thing that I wanted to talk about, if there was just some sort of major conflicts. And even though it was like a lot of that was been dredged up a long time ago and all of that. So as far as like last year goes, I think as far as that was when I started that whole thing with like Raul at least. And I think I pretty much had saw him for like maybe about 5 or 6 months or so, but I guess I could say maybe about almost 6 months. But then again, I don't know if I really want to start all over with him or not, but I don't think he probably would. But I mean, I hadn't really talked to him in a long time and all that sort of thing. It's like, but in a way, I mean, I kind of pretty much had dumped him there because it was just mainly the fact that he just got upset with me for like something that was very trivial. Very trivial and all of that. You know, when I kind of forgot my acrid and all that, I thought he probably knew where it was. But if he knew where it is. But it didn't, like I said there. I think I know what I did wrong with this sort of thing. That I probably had count my chickens before they hatch and all that sort of stuff there. And I think that was mainly like I said before, the main thing that caused more of a conflict there. Inadvertently was uh was that count my chickens before they hatch.
It's a vitamin supplement that nourishes from the inside with Biotin for beautiful hair and strong nails,
But
and vitamin C and E for
at
vibrant
the same
skin. Take a
time,
month. If your hair, skin, and
I
nails
think I
don't
just
look
got
like normal,
annoyed by
we'll
guys who
instantly
were
give
like
your money back. I did it,
who
and I feel beautiful.
who go
Take the
go
Nature's
too
Bounty Hair,
fast for
Skin, and
me and
Nails
all that
Challenge.
sort of
Visit
stuff.
naturesbounty.com for
And
details. And delicious gummies, too.
in a way, that was one of the other things that happened with that one guy. I think his name was like Romero, but I forgot his last name. That was a different
There's no
Romero.
telling what you'll find.
But yeah, he was like another guy that maybe about back in October of
There are
last
some
year.
moments only the fullest can inspire.
That he kind of asked way too many questions and all that sort of stuff about it. everything, and like it was a game show and all that sort of stuff, and that's sort of the whole reason why I turned away and all that. And I kind of realized that there are just some guys that are just gonna be like that in some ways, and there are just some guys that are just gonna be on the opposite end of things, or something like that.
Welcome back to Dateline on
But
ID. And here what the conclusion
I
of
think the only way to know now in all of this is like there's just some of them that are just gonna be a bit weird. And yet here I'm the one that's being labeled weird because I'm an Ashby and all that. But in a way,
Did he have any sexual relationship with
I think in some ways now,
There was not one scintilla
if I
of physical evidence.
part of it could do is things over. I mean, there's probably plenty of things that I want to do over, but it's like you have to accept the things that you've been given with and all that sort of stuff, but not that I should complain about it, but not that as far as that goes, but sometimes I kind of wish I could do things a lot better than I've done in the past and all that sort of stuff with that knowledge. But I think the more I talk about these kind of things like that, the more I start to realize I'm no different than everyone else as far as that goes. It's just simply I just think a little bit differently than other people, or have a different approach of things than what NT people do. And it's like the more I bring this out, the more I become less of a foreign thing or whatever it is, or less of this or whatever you can put at this sort of thing. And the less it becomes foreign, the less it becomes sort of abstract and all this sort of stuff, the more it becomes a little bit more realistic or more down to earth or whatever it is. And that's just really my intent on all these kind of blogs there, but and mainly, if I haven't really mentioned this now, but I probably should mention this there at the time. The blogs were just mainly was a frame of reference as far as that goes, and for me to take a snapshot of how I was feeling and how I'm thinking at the time and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of times, I think some people could get confused that this is I how I felt, uh, that I probably would still feel that way about things at that point after they had seen the video, whether if it's like the following week or a month or a year or whatever. But really it's just like the picture and all that. When you take a picture of something, that's just basically what it is at the time, and it's not going to stay that way. And that's just what it is. That when I do these kind of blogs, it's just simply the snapshot of what I'm thinking at that point. This doesn't necessarily mean that I'm still going to be thinking at that point now and all that, because especially how when I have talked about like this certain guy or this sort of guy that was like that was dating at that point, and then come to think of it like something down the road, then not no longer dating him or whatever. What if I broke up with him or he broke up with me or something like that, and then there would be like another video of me trying to clear all the damage from waiting for the dust to settle and all this sort of things there, and blah 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 blah. And there would be like another video of me kind of thinking about that guy or as yesterday's news, and me kind of looking forward to the next person and all that sort of stuff. That's just basically what it is. But I don't know. As far as what the future may hold for this year or next year and all that, but believe me, I feel like I could start all over with all this sort of things like that, or I can do all these little things now because of how I couldn't do these certain things there because there was just somebody that was in the way of such things. But I think as far as the whole job wise now, it's like I have to go around and explain to people that it was really my interest now was just simply me being just wanting to be my own boss and all that, not wanting to have to work under anyone and all that. That was really my reasons of not working at some sort of job at this point now was just simply me not wanting to work under anyone. And this isn't really like my fault or something like that. It's just the fact was that after high school people didn't really have a lot of knowledge as far as Asperger's at that whole point, and it was really coming off the heels of the Paxil, Zoloft, Ritalin, or whatever it is, these sort of little wonder drugs and all that sort of stuff, and then call it a day. Not have the time to assess the more long-term planning and long-term solutions as far as for dealing with people with Asperger's and blah 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 blah, that sort of thing. And especially at that time there, that people probably think of like Asperger's was something that needed to be treated and all that sort of thing, which was another thing again, like where it just like I had like some sort of disease that needed to be cured or something like that, when nowadays people have a completely different mindset about Asperger's as far as that goes. That people now are starting to see it as more of a difference than just something that needs to be cured and all that, or whatever it is, and in a way, it's just that I just had a bad rap with all of that sort of stuff because of the time and all of this sort of stuff, and so that's just mainly the case here. That if they were more equipped to handle that sort of stuff, then I would have been more equipped to handle all that sort of stuff and all this and all that, And I think that's just mainly the reasons why I chose not to have a job and all that sort of stuff there. Because I just don't really want to have to work under anyone and all this sort of stuff. Or all these other little things there that I'll probably tell you guys eventually in the future. So, anyways, talk to you guys later.